See, no problem at all. Just pushes right through. Hey guys, Brad here, and today we're going to be taking a look at a really cool 7 1/4 inch skill saw. This is the Dewalt brushless 60 volt max flex volt rear handled saw. I really like this thing. This is the DCS577. Now before we get into this review, make sure you subscribe, hit that notify bell, and give me a thumbs up at the end of the video if you like it. As you can see, we've got some new swag. This is our Hammer and Home hoodie. My lovely wife Tiffany designed it and ordered them up. So if you guys want some, we'll leave some links down below. It's got "Keep on Crushing" on the back, which you know is my tagline. And yeah, pretty stoked to have all this kind of stuff going on right now. So let's take a look at this saw. I've never really been a rear handle saw kind of guy. These are heavy saws. Okay, this thing weighs 10.87 pounds. This is not light. And then when you slap a battery in this, this is the 6 amp hour battery. It gets pretty girthy. However, I'll tell you why I like it at the end of this video, okay? So I got to keep you here to watch this thing. Let's go over some of the specs first. This is a 7 1/4 inch saw. So it's got the nice 7 1/4 inch blade in there. All right. It's a brushless motor. When you've got this thing beveled over, it'll go to a max bevel of 53 degrees. It has a positive stop at 45 degrees and 22 degrees. And what else can I say? At 45 degrees, you've got 1 7/8 inch depth of cut. And then at 90 degrees, which we're at right now, you've got a max of 2 7/16 depth of cut. It's a direct drive motor, and it has a position area here for the Bluetooth Connect, which is these little guys. It screws on here. And we did a review. No, we didn't. Sorry. We're going to be doing a review on these. These are pretty cool. But you'll have to subscribe for that. And then we got a rafter hook right here, which is really nice. I really like this hook. I love how it just tucks away. Nice metal construction. Pretty sweet. And then we've got onboard tool storage right here for changing the blade. Okay. And depth of cut adjustment is up at the back. I really like this location, and I'll tell you why in a second. This is all nice metal. Got a magnesium base. And then at the front here, oh, that's tight. You pull that, and that's how you change your bevel. Okay? And there's positive stops at 45 and 22. So you don't even need to like, see there's one right there. Boom, 22, there we go. So super nice. At the front here too, you can put these set screws in and you can do the slide-in guide. So you can cut, you can do some rippings at whatever you need. So it's pretty handy that way. They also have on the side here an area for a dust attachment. And this old FlexVolt saw here, it has one that I bought. We were doing some indoor work. We're cutting up some hardwood floors, so I really wanted to have a dust collector. And it's not the greatest because this is all open. You get a lot of sawdust spitting out everywhere, but it did help. So you can buy something similar to this, but obviously it's reversed because the motor is on the right on this saw and the motor is on the left on this saw. Okay, so that's the difference. So you would need a different dust port on here. And I'll leave a link down below if I can find it, but I can't promise you anything. So that's the saw. Oh, and it has a brake on it, which is beautiful. When you start this thing up and you let go of the trigger, it just stops on a dime. So let's get a battery in here. Got a fully charged 6 amp hour. This only takes the flex volts, okay? It will not take any of the 20 volts, and I'll show you. This won't, it'll go in, but it won't lock in. Okay, so it doesn't work. So I'm just going to start this up. Oh yeah, and I will note that to start the trigger, you just have to push this button in, and it's really, really nice. It's not like some of the other saws. That version has it, but some of the other skill saws just hang on a tick. Here's an example. These ones, you got to push this button down, and sometimes these are just a pain in the butt. They're really awkward until they loosen up. So that's the difference here. Very, very easy, left or right. You know, you barely even need to think about it. You just kind of hit it with the edge of your thumb, and you're good to go. So the brake, when you do get this going, I'll show you, just stops right away. I love that because this is such a powerful saw. You want to make sure that when you're done sawing and you put this down, if this ever gets stuck back, the brake will stop the blade before you're worried about putting this on the ground and it shooting up and cutting your leg, which is the most dangerous thing in the world. And that's how a lot of guys used to get hurt back in the day before brakes were a thing. You know, this guard would get broken, or they would even just remove the guard, get rid of it and throw it out. And then you put the saw down and it would shoot backwards and run up your leg or across your foot or something like that. So safety first, right guys? Okay, so we're just going to do some cuts here. I'm just going to show you how easy it is to, I'm going to bury this in a 4x6 so the blade won't even be coming out the bottom. Okay, you can see the blade won't be coming out the bottom. And maybe I'll cut a 2x6 first, right here. All right. I'll just do a couple end cuts here, and I'll show you. Now, it's heavy. This is really great to use with two hands, but also for cutting with sheets, it's nice because you get that little bit of extra reach because you're behind the saw. It's really, really nice to mark like these points up here, the 0 point. I quite like it. It's very accurate. So let's just do some quick rips here, or some cross cuts, I should say. See, very easy. All right. Now this saw has a lot of weight, and for me, I'm not totally used to this saw yet. I love it, and I think the reason I love it is because it's so heavy that when you're cutting, especially if you're cutting like in a position like this and you're cutting down, this saw just wants to drop. So you get a very straight, easy cut, whereas when you're using this style, your wrist is cocked forward a little more. There's nothing wrong with this. This saw is super light, and the new flex volt saw is so much better than this one. And this saw does have a lot of power, but really doesn't compare to this, I found. So let's just do some cuts in here. Like, you would not want to be cutting above your head too much unless you got big pipes. See, no problem at all. It just pushes right through. Okay, super easy. I'll do one more, guys. So for cutting plywood or big timbers like this, doing long rips, this board has so many nails in it. I wonder if I can do a rip. Let's go right through here. I'm just going to cut along here and I'll show you. See? I'm dusting out my photog here. She can't breathe. But, you know, there's not very many skill saws that are cordless that can just plow through wood like that. It's pretty amazing. So if you are into doing some serious 4x6, 6x6 timber type work, a saw like this with this kind of power, this kind of accuracy, because it really does help if you're not used to this type of style. I know this, like in Canada, this is more of an East Coast style from what I understand. A lot of guys in the East, they use this and they prefer them. That's just what I've heard. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. But here in Alberta, we barely use these saws. We're mostly using circular saws like this. I know I say skill saw sometimes, guys. It's just an Alberta thing. I know skill saw is a brand, but we say skill saw in replace of circular saw. Just so you know, down in the comments there, guys. I know you're going to give it to me because you always do. But this is mostly what we're using here in Alberta, our regular circular saws. You rarely see a guy on site with these rear-handled saws. But after using it quite a bit, I do really, really like it. And I do see the benefits of having it. It's a different feeling with the control. And it's hard to explain until you've actually used one, especially if you're ripping lumber. Like 2x6, 4x6, 2x12, whatever. If you got to do some long rips, this thing, it just destroys the wood. Just goes right through it. It's no worries at all. So let me know what you think. I'd love to hear some comments because this is the first one that I've done rear handle saw review on. So yeah, love to hear some comments. Subscribe, hit that notify bell, and we'll leave links down below as well if you're interested. All right, guys, keep on crushing it. We'll catch you later.